You went to junior college for 2 years, so you got an AA, and you got all your basics, English 1A, history 17A. And then, and transfer to San Jose State.
We do ask that people sign in with their name and town of residence on the sign-in sheet at the podium, please, and thank you.
And then bring it to you.
And then bring it to me. And
Because
we'll
you
make
can-
sure, we'll go through and make sure everybody gets, as much time as we have.
15, 20 minutes.
Each person gets 2 minutes. We want to make sure we fit everybody in.
I'm gonna have to talk really quickly.
You can do it. Many words very fast.
We will go
No,
over
I'm kidding.
shortly.
That's weird.
Too many of these. Oh, yeah,
I know. It's not because I want them. It's just the way it is. It's so annoying.
Exactly. Back there?
Freaking nuts. Like, we just have a nice exchange. Do we have a yes. Like, we have the women that go. They literally said, I won't have a crowd. For her to.
Right.
School setting.
Yeah, I think the powder.
That was hardcore.
There's drama.
God, we found piece of that.
And so-
She called. Great. Welcome to our January 2nd, 2025 school board meeting. Can you believe it? We lived through the last year. We will begin with introductions, beginning over here.
Jeff Hanley.
Joanne O'Brien.
Molly Rogers. Sage Scully.
Alyssa Tracy.
Becky Fless.
Tony Veet.
Megan Carlson. Kira Blodgett.
Sean Pope. Barry Manning.
Michelle Tucker.
Matt Lillibridge.
Administrative staff.
Pat Hopkins, Superintendent.
Andrea Dish, Business Manager. Lauren Arnold, Principal at Gardner Area High School.
Nate Stubbard, Athletic Director.
Angela Hardy, Director of Curriculum. Katie Gould, Principal at Helen Thompson School.
Karen Moody, Principal of Laura Richard School. Vicki Duguay, Principal at Riverview Community School.
Sarah Bolek-Maziak, Director of Special Services.
Terry McGuire, Technology.
A stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Public comment for items that are just wanting to be taken care of.
So we are about to convene into the public comment period of our meeting. State law in Maine requires a public comment item on agendas of a full meeting of the school board. Please note that the public comment period is not designed to be a discussion. Accordingly, please do not expect the board to respond to your concerns and questions tonight. I would also want to point out that under state and federal privacy laws, we are unable to entertain any comments or questions about school personnel, particular student matters, any rumors presented as facts that compromise the privacy of others, and any health or medical information protected as confidential. On any matter of concern, we would ask you to go through the appropriate administrative channels. We ask that speakers please address comments to the board directly rather than to the audience. Speakers may address items pertinent to tonight's meeting agenda or any topic related to the school unit's programs, policies, or operations. In the unlikely event the meeting becomes unruly, the board will recess the meeting and return once order has been restored. Finally, I want to remind everyone that you may submit written comments to the board in lieu of speaking during the public comment period if you so choose. Regarding the protocol for this evening, please review the board pamphlet, Welcome to our School Board Meeting, that provides a copy of policy BEDH, which is public participation at board meetings, that explicitly outlines the manner in which the public comment will be managed. Individuals who wish to speak are required to fill out the sign-in form. Those who wish to speak will be required to state their name and town or city of residence before beginning your remarks. Consistent with policy BEDH, the board will hear public comments from residents and employees of the school unit first. If there is time remaining in the public comment period, once all residents have had their opportunity to speak, the board will permit comments from non-residents. The board will now entertain public comments for 20 minutes. Each individual speaker is allotted 2 minutes. The individual time limits will be enforced so that as many members of the public who wish to speak may be allowed to do so. So with that, the first name we have here is Jen Scully.
Good evening. My name is Jen Scully, and I'm a resident of Pittston with 2 children in the MSAD11 system. When my daughter applied for the position of school board student representative last year, I was thrilled. I saw it as a chance for her to serve her community and contribute meaningfully to the betterment of our schools. And for the first year, this promise held true, but that has changed drastically since this year's election. In just 3 months, she has experienced harassment that no student should have to go through. She has had to file a police report. She has been publicly mocked at a meeting. She has faced social media attacks aimed at ridiculing her and questioning her credibility. And she has been subjected to 3 FOAA requests, targeting her private communications, including texts, and even her correspondence with the college she is applying to. This behavior is disgraceful, and it speaks to a disturbing shift in the culture of this board. Since my daughter joined last year, I have watched every meeting. I've observed a board that changed from focusing on thoughtful, productive discussions for the students to one that is mired in chaos and political agendas. In the past 2 months alone, I have seen select board members violate the board's own code of ethics. These violations include, but are not limited to, behaving disrespectfully and unprofessionally to other board members, prioritizing political agendas over the well-being of the students that they are supposed to serve, and using social media as a means to misrepresent issues and fellow board members. This conduct is unacceptable. You are here to serve the students, to lead with integrity, and to set an example of professionalism and respect. I ask that you make it a habit to leave your political agendas at the door, stop the personal attacks, and let the board focus on the work that they are supposed to be doing. Our students are watching and they deserve better. Thank
10
you.
seconds. Thank you, Jen.
And we have Jennifer Richardson.
Once you say your name and your town, Jen, I'll put the timer on and then I'll give you a 10-second warning.
Okay,
All right.
my name is Jennifer Richardson and I am from Gardner. I'm a former teacher of 30 years. I taught approximately 10 years in Massachusetts in general education and as a coordinator, and the rest of the time I worked in special education in Maine. The last several years of my teaching career were spent running day treatment programs. I have lived in the same neighborhood in Gardner for about 20 years. I know all of my neighbors and we support each other in times of need. My daughter attended the Gardner schools from kindergarten through graduation in 2023. She was very active in the school community and I volunteered in many of the school's programs. I continue to support the drama program in Gardner to this day. My experience in both education and this community allow me to express grave concerns about the recent negative energy within the school board. My strongest belief as an educator was that every student had the right to feel safe and welcome at school. Every student should receive unconditional positive regard, and that starts at the top with our school board. There is no place in our school or community for people who have no history or ownership in the health and wellness of our children, particularly when their agenda has nothing to do with either. I think it's vital for the people in our community to stand up to the bullying and harassment that have taken place, and I, for one, will be here to let you know that I won't sit in silence.
Thank you. Review and approval of agenda minutes, prioritization of items, and alteration of the established agenda format sequence as needed.
Yeah, I just have a couple modifications. One under, let's see, section 8, I'd like to, general information, I'd like to add a B, which would be Maxwell Gaba at Tech 1 in the STEPS program at Ellen Thompson that we've hired under board chair. We're going to delete the proposed meeting on Monday, January 6th, so that should be deleted. And under executive sessions, I would like to move item B, the executive session to discuss a confidential matter, to the very end and move C and D up.
I move we approve the agenda as revised. Do we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Second by Linda. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's see. Approval of minutes of previous meetings, regular school board meeting of December 5th. Motion to approve.
So
Second by Molly. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Correspondence,
As written.
committee reports, Capital Area Technical Center.
I have 5 points that I want to talk about. Students from the graphic design and visual arts program presented about the program and showed some of their work. One of the things that I found interesting was that in this program, they actually will take jobs from the private sector and develop signs or posters or whatever, and they can be paid for this. And any of the money that they make from this goes back into the program. And that's different from many of the programs at CATC. They talked about enrollment and keeping students. In the past, students would enroll in one program and then the second week shift to another and then sometimes shift to another, which was disruptive. Now they're modeling admission as if it were a job interview. So first the student attends a presentation at their high school. Then they shadow a student that's in the program they're interested in joining. Then they do an online application. And finally, there is an in-person meeting with the instructor of that program. And they found that taking these steps has greatly limited the amount of transferring between programs. LD 436, which is, they're trying to implement a way to give graduation units for students in a CATC program. And that's going to be a process that's still being worked on. The state has covered the cost at CATC for a while, forever, I'm not sure.
For a number of years, 10 years, Andrea, now? Probably
About that.
somewhere.
And again, next year, 25, 26, the state will be able to cover it. However, in the 26, 27 year, there is a concern that the state will not completely finance the program, which means that districts will be asked to chip in. It's not a given, it's sort of a warning, beware, this could be happening. And next year's budget, in case anybody's curious, is about $3.1 million. And the last thing, I'm not going to be able to report well on this because I know very little about it. It's called ELO, Extended Learning Opportunities. And there's a little bit of a concern that I understand high schools provide these. And there's a concern that what CATC does and what the high schools do don't conflict, that it's not an overlap in the programming. And our next meeting is February 14th.
Becky, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Linda, how many towns again feed into the CATC roughly?
7, I think.
Not towns, but districts.
Districts, sorry, that's what I meant,
I think
yes.
about 7.
So I'm just trying to
No,
do
I
the beer
can't name
math
them.
of 33.2
No
million,
test.
you know, it's 400,000 or 500,000, we might have to pony up in a few years.
The amount, I didn't write it down, but when they said how much it might be, I didn't blink. I didn't think it was a whole, I think it was under 5,000. I think it was not really all that much. But that's just, I don't know. I really don't know the answer, but it wasn't tens of thousands.
But I would assume it would be based upon enrollment in the program. And we are I think we're in the top 3 school districts in the number of students that we send to CATC.
But it was nowhere like in the hundreds of
Right,
that. It wasn't
right.
anywhere near that.
Do we know why that may happen?
The state is not perhaps going to continue to fund it fully.
If the state isn't able to fund it fully or they have some additional needs, it could be some facility needs, for example, that is not covered through the ED 279 or the state reimbursement process, then school districts will have to pay the difference.
But it's not a done deal. It's kind of a heads up, beware this could happen.
I wondered if there was a drop in participation.
No, actually, it's gone up a little bit this year.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I may, just a comment, because you said ELO, it made me look it up to make sure I was right, but it's almost like a micro credentialing program, like JMG does it, right? So if you don't get a full certificate or program, you can go and get like a micro credential. So
Right, and
that's-
it's
yeah,
working with a partnership with a company.
a company or
business
someone, right, exactly. Yep. Excellent.
Thank you.
Yep.
Curriculum no meeting, dropout no meeting, finance committee. All right, the finance committee, which was December 19th. Energy management consultants were going to come, but we had a scheduling conflict. So they were unable at the last minute to join us. Andrea reviewed the committee state statute regarding performance contracts, as well as the intricacies of funding such a project. We have purchased smart clock. And Andrea presented 2 proposals to the committee seeking approval for the purchase of time clocks compatible with the district's frontline time and attendance module. She noted that proposals were valid only until December 20th and emphasized her intention to take advantage of year-end pricing. Was that successful? Year-end pricing, that's what we want to hear. Excellent. It was stated the purchase would not come from the district's general fund, but would be purchased using available E-rate funds. Additionally, she highlighted that the Maine Department of Labor has intensified wage audits and imposed stricter penalties. She expressed her belief that acquiring the time clocks would help the district and avoid compliance issues currently affecting some businesses. And I think that that's a great idea and wholeheartedly support that you've done that. The fiscal 2026 budget timeline, she distributed copies of the 2026 budget timeline to the committee members, noting that while the timeline is flexible, it closely mirrors the schedule following last year's budget process. And annual financial audit. She shared an email from the district's auditors, Nicholson, Michaud, and Neto, our CPAs, regarding the need to request an extension for submitting the fiscal 2024 audit. The auditors cited the need for additional time to complete the management quality control review. They expressed confidence that the audit will be submitted to the Department of Education by January 31st, and assured that future audits will meet the December 31st deadline. This, if you remember last year, we had this very same issue and Andrea was very itchy about that. So we need for that not to happen twice.
I'm itchy about the next one.
I know.
Yeah.
We've already requested and received approval from the DOE for our extension. And finally, Andrea has informed the committee of an issue regarding the purchase of our modular at PRCS.
I know, that just
Yeah.
happens.
An email outlining the situation was shared and the matter is now under review at district council. Business manager will keep the committee apprised of the situation. Any updates, Andrea?
No.
Okay, so that was finance. And the next finance committee meeting is on January, it's the second Tuesday,
January 14th.
January 14th at 5 o'clock. We'll see you all there.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. And if anybody has any particular interest, as we all should in our budget and
It
how
does.
it's
Good, we'll change it.
shaking out preemptively, we would love to have you there.
You say 5 or 5:30?
5.
14th. January 14th.
January 14th. Policy committee.
So we met on December 5th, right before the meeting, the full board meeting, and went through the let's see, the policies and job descriptions as listed in the what's it on the agenda? The full descriptions of those policies and job descriptions are in the digital packet, so hopefully everybody got that. It's included on that email. And so what I'd like to do is actually put these, let's see, I'll make a motion in just a moment. Let's see, our meeting is really going through updates and clarifications on those policies, including just changes to language. We had one policy where we had taken out this idea that there would be an actual physical reading of anti-smoking statements before events. No smoking and no vaping signs are still going to be present throughout the district and buildings and events. So just some changes that we're making there. And they're listed in those policies. We did table one of the policies that was on the policy committee agenda per attorney recommendation. Let's see, so if anybody has any, well, let's get the motion going here for, I'd like to advance for a first reading, the policies and job descriptions as written, as a bundle.
Second.
Questions, comments? All those in favor? Great, motion carries. Thank you. All righty. Job descriptions, wellness committee, no meeting. Student representatives report.
All right. So it is definitely short because December is basically break. But one of the big events that we had was Operation Christmas. So the Interact Club, along with several of the other school clubs and even private shoppers, came together to spread holiday cheer by sponsoring 25 families in the district for Christmas. Each family received gifts thoughtfully tailored to their wish lists, which included something they wanted, something they needed, something to wear, and something to read. In addition to the presents, food baskets were delivered to ensure that the families had a joyful and fulfilling holiday season. They were all distributed on December 23rd, and we'd like to give a heartfelt thank you for everyone who sponsored, shopped, wrapped, and helped organize this event. And your kindness and generosity made a real difference in our community. Additionally, students and staff all reported returning to school well rested and relaxed today. And just we put another one of the reports out, yes, which got released today, so very late, but it did get out there. Yes, that one. And then we just kind of summarize everything about the school-based health clinic for all the students to read because, yes, we want to make sure that they are well informed. So,
yeah. We also had a craft fair on December 14th. There was a fundraiser hosted by the Interact Club, and it was a really successful community event. Crafters came to the high school's cafeteria and set up tables. Many students volunteered and got to meet community members and get a bunch of community hours. And it was overall a very busy and very successful event. And there was also a wrestling meet at the same time. So we had some of the wrestlers and their families trickle in.
Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. Yeah. Administrator reports. No foregoing this time. Wow.
Okay, at LER this month, we continue to receive support for our families in school during the month of December. Gardner Area High School's Interact Club, Calvary, Foursquare Church, Faith Christian Church, Catholic Charity of Maine, and the Boys and Girls Club all provided holiday support to many families of Laura Richards School. In addition, the Gardner Elks Lodge number 1293 applied for grant funds from Grand Lodge to assist schools and other organizations in our community. Laura Richards was chosen as a recipient. Healthy snacks for our students and a monetary donation will be delivered in January. And at LER, they are incredibly appreciative of our community's outreach and generosity that brought so much joy to families and support for our students and school. The challenge at LER is that they had a new floor installed in the cafeteria this past summer. Unfortunately, the adhesive under the tiles continues to seep out of the seams. They first thought the humidity might have been the cause, but the adhesive has continued to ooze out throughout the cafeteria and even in places in the lobby. Gabe Dostey had the pipes inspected prior to the holiday break to see if there might be a leak under the floor, but there was no issue there. So they're having the flooring contractor return to look at the floor and plan for next steps.
In winter.
At Riverview, noteworthy, like LER's notes above, the community has been generous in helping us support our families. They are extremely thankful for the wraparound support of our community. At Riverview, they also had fun right before break with an annual Winter Olympics that featured theme days like Maine Flannel Day and Hibernation Day, along with candy cane challenges and winter-themed Kahoot games. Upcoming, they're getting ready for a winter round, we all are, our winter round of district and state play. And the challenge at Riverview is, at this point, there are no new challenges. They're working on diligently supporting students who require behavioral support and they've managed to keep their daily schedules covered with creative and wonderful subs who have gone above and beyond to help cover all classes and duties on a weekly basis. At HT, we're beginning the new year with a whole school assembly to recognize student growth and achievement from the month of December. During this assembly, a representative from the Gardner Elks Lodge will present a donation to our school as well, and we are grateful for the support from our community. The challenge at HT, we are also beginning the new year with a new administrative assistant. So this is a challenging transition anyway, but to come in during budget season is especially difficult. At Pittston Randolph Consolidated School, their community came together and the generosity and donations for their annual holiday traditions was wonderful. In December, the number of support calls from teachers significantly declined since the beginning of the year. And the challenge over at Pittston Randolph Consolidated School is that as they work to get back to the routines of school, winter assessment season is upon us, and will require us to navigate schedules to meet the needs of all learners.
Thank you, Katie.
All right. So at the middle school, they'd like to share that the support from our community was really great in supporting families during the holiday season. They want to thank their staff, parents, and community partners for all they did to help support families during this time. The generosity and support was inspiring and heartfelt. Students participated in an incredible assembly from Johnson Hall that was filled with laughter. The middle school appreciated them coming to the school to offer this reward assembly to the students, and the students and staff participated in an energetic spirit week with fun challenges throughout the month of December, which brought a lot of school spirit and laughter to the building. A challenge for the middle school is that they're still short 2 special education ed techs, and that's putting a strain on their resources within the building. But the staff is incredible at pulling things together and making it all work. But the lack of staff in that area is certainly being felt across the building. At the high school, December for us was full of collaboration, generosity, and community spirit. As Sage and Kira said, the highlight of the month was hosting our highly successful holiday craft fair. We'd like to extend a big thank you to the amazing students and advisors of the Interact Club, National Honor Society, Latin Club, Spanish Club, GSDA, our Unified Social Studies class, Civil Rights team, and French Club. Their teamwork and dedication made this year's craft fair an incredible success, and we'd like to thank everyone that attended and supported that event. And as Sage said, due to everyone's hard work and generosity, we raised enough funds to sponsor about 25 families within our community, ensuring that they would have a brighter Christmas this year. And our students and staff truly embody the spirit of giving and are making a meaningful difference in our community. Additionally, our staff embraced, I don't know if the kids picked up on it, a undercover holiday spirit week, featuring fun and creative theme days like anything but a cup. We have to drink out of anything but a cup. Holiday character day and more. And the enthusiasm and camaraderie brought kind of an extra layer of cheer to the month and brought smiles to everyone's faces. For us, our challenge, while December was filled with many highlights, we also faced a significant challenge with the threat that occurred the Friday before break. This led to the difficult decision to close school. However, we'd like to extend our sincere gratitude to Deputy Jordan, Kennebec Sheriff's Office, Gardner PD, and Pat for their support in prioritizing the safety of our student staff during this time. And it's just an important reminder that if you see something, say something, and we'd like to thank our school community for their vigilance and continued partnership in keeping our schools safe. For athletics, all of our winter team sports are off to a good start. We have a very good participation number in the majority of our sports. We have been denied an indoor track co-op team with Coney by the MPA, but we are competing with Coney as an individual co-op instead. And the challenge for athletics has been transportation due to the lack of our bus drivers. Jeff Ellis and his crew are doing the best they can, but it certainly has been challenging getting our teams to away games.
Who won anything but a cup?
Well, we don't have a winner, but
What was the most creative? Anything
we
but
had
a
a
cup.
measuring cup. Someone had a measuring cup. We had a gingerbread man. What else do we have? We had some really interesting ones. Yeah, someone had a bowl.
Thank you, Lauren. Try that. Anything but a cup.
So technology is noteworthy as they're excited to announce that MSAD11 has been awarded a Teaching and Learning with Technology grant from the Maine Department of Education. The purpose of the grant is to provide supplemental technology and related professional learning to support innovative teaching and learning with technology, to provide opportunities to teachers and students in an innovative, impactful, and intriguing way. 20 iMac computers, 12 high-end Canon cameras with accessories, 4 large external hard drives. It's going to be hard to follow up. 2 teacher workshops, 1 video club leader stipend will begin to be implemented in December.
You should have sang it,
2024.
Sarah. Like, that's what I was hearing. That's what I heard.
And the total grant award is $64,135.84.
Terry's like, yes.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I'm excited and grateful for the opportunity this equipment and training will provide. And the technology department has also been working with vendors to prepare for the installation and use of the new copy machines, the bus ride program, and the time clock system.
So you're not busy at all.
Challenge, equipment purchased with those lovely COVID funds are becoming aged and need to be replaced on a rotating basis. This includes camera servers, phone system servers, financial servers, network access points, switches, etc. So in the past 2 months, the technology department has worked to upgrade all servers and PC desktops to the latest operating system, as well as to perform necessary upgrades in an effort to increase security. Special services noteworthy. This fall, the Assistant Director of Special Services has played an instrumental role in driving critical progress within our department. Demonstrating exceptional leadership and expertise as part of our restructuring effort. Her specific skill set has been strategically utilized to address key areas of compliance, alignment, and the establishment of clear and consistent expectations across all levels of our work. She is focused on aligning processes, streamlining timelines, and establishing those clear and consistent expectations. They've been instrumental in preparing us for the Maine Department of Education's audit this spring. And by addressing these immediate needs and strengthening our foundations, she's positioned us to work towards meeting compliance expectations, along with fostering long-term success for our programs. Our challenge, we are facing a significant... We're facing a significant challenge in attracting and securing highly qualified candidates for our open positions. This is a challenge that's persisted across openings this fall. Time and again, we are conducting interviews with individuals whose resumes and reference checks are nothing short of exceptional. And these candidates bring impressive credentials, experience, genuine passion for education. Despite their enthusiasm for the role and the alignment with our district's needs, many ultimately decline when the discussion turns to compensation. Curriculum's noteworthy. January is the midpoint of our academic year, which means we'll be participating in those mid-year assessments in reading and math using NUIA through-year and the iReady Math Diagnostic. The data will allow us to check on our progress from the fall and adjust our strategies so that we might achieve our goals by June. The early bird literacy and dyslexia screener was conducted in December with pre-K, kindergarten, and grade 1 students. The challenge is that student behavior has impacted learning for many students this year, despite our best efforts to draw in training, access different resources, strengthen family-school connections, and launch a student and staff safety committee. The committee will continue to work collaboratively to identify options that will help us decrease negatively impactful behavior and increase stable, positive, and supportive learning communities for all students.
Oh, my breath. Next. All right. Select committee. I'm ready.
Well, hang on one second. Yeah, I just want to thank our administrators
Yeah, I agree.
for all of their reports. What's happening in our district, aside from all the conflict that comes, there's amazing, we are doing amazing things with our students, and the focus can really be there for all the wonderful things that are happening with the grants, and there's just so many positive things happening, and I would really like for us to focus on those things. So I just want to thank you all so very much for preparing such great reports, and I witnessed the flooding floor. It was super fun. It was oozing. It really was oozing. They were trying so hard to un-ooze, but not successfully. But thank you so much for those reports tonight. It's really inspiring, so. Now, cell
right.
phones.
Because I brought the notes, so I wouldn't forget, and Sage is gonna keep me honest
I
too.
love
So
that.
we met on December 16th. We had already established some meetings throughout the next couple of months. I wasn't able to go to the first one, but I was able to go to this one. We've had a few folks that have done that. We had assigned folks to go look at other school districts and ask them, what are they doing about cell phones and watches? And so folks gave us some information. Some of them even shared some surveys they did. And that's kind of where we turned our focus to doing some surveys to parents, to students, to the community, and just see, you know, what pulse do we have out there for this? Some schools have pockets that are zipped and, you know, electronically sealed and all that. Feels like it's, you know, way out in one way. And then others are sort of on their own. But when I asked the question of a couple of teachers in the room, do you prefer to have a policy or a way to treat everyone the same? They preferred that. So we're probably going to explore what that means. Sage actually already started. It just made me think I didn't do my homework. See, she started a document for us to start creating some questions for the survey that we can look through. So if anybody has any interest in that, happy to share it. But we're going to start to at least do that and get it out. So then we can start to get perception and see where we go from there. What I miss? Anything?
I think that covers it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
General information as written, nominations.
Yes, I have one nomination, Sarah Trussell, as an art teacher. She will be positioned at the Helen Thompson School and the Laura E. Richards School. Her first day was today. So
I'd like
she's.
to move that nomination.
Yeah.
She's an excellent person. She happens to also be my daughter's dance instructor, and she's an amazing person. Yes,
Got an ampersand?
right at Micah.
Oh, Micah, nice.
Before that.
Yeah,
Nice, excellent.
so I was
Yeah,
excited.
To the second.
I need a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
Molly.
So we have a motion, we have a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor? Take the art teaching.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, new business.
All right.
So we have a proposal for the revival of a debate club at the high school. The debate club provides students with an opportunity to develop critical thinking, public speaking, and research skills while fostering teamwork and confidence. At the high school, the debate club was a popular and impactful extracurricular activity before it was discontinued due to the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. With a resurgence of interest among students, it's an ideal time to revive the club. The primary goal of our debate club is to teach students the art of debate, equipping them with the skills such as logical reasoning, effective communication, and respectful discourse. This aligns with the high school's mission of promoting academic excellence and preparing students for success in diverse fields. There'd be no cost to the district. It'll operate on its own. Resources would be our meeting spaces, basic supplies. It's all going to be sourced in-house. And additional needs will be met through student-driven fundraising efforts or donations. Ms. Randa Soto would be the advisor. She's a dedicated and experienced educator at the high school, and she's volunteered to serve. Her expertise in guiding the students and her passion for fostering academic enrichment make her an ideal advisor. She also teaches AP Seminar and AP Research, which cultivate the art of debate by fostering critical thinking, effective communication, and evidence-based argumentation. In AP Seminar, students analyze diverse perspectives on complex issues, build compelling arguments, and engage in collaborative discussions that mirror real-world debates. AP Research deepens these skills by guiding students through independent investigations where they develop, defend, and present their findings. Together, these courses empower students to craft nuanced arguments, anticipate counter arguments, and engage in meaningful discourse essential for mastering the art of debate. We have about 17 sophomores, juniors, and seniors who have expressed interest in participating, and the students have voiced that they're eager to learn the art of debate and are committed to building the club into a vibrant extracurricular offering. And there are plans to add freshmen to this roster. For the first year, their plan are some in-house competitions. So to ensure a successful and sustainable start, the club's first year will focus on in-house activities, including weekly practice sessions to teach students debate techniques, research methods, and effective argumentation. They'll hold mock debates and friendly competitions within the club to build skills and confidence. And they'll have invitation to staff members and peers to judge and observe in-house debates, fostering community engagement and support. For future growth, in the second year, the club aims to participate in inter-school competitions by requiring, which would require some transportation and entry fees. Students will organize fundraising activities such as bake sales, car washes, or crowdfunding campaigns to cover these expenses. And the club will seek to establish partnerships with local businesses for sponsorship opportunities. And debate is once a celebrated practice of reasoned discourse and persuasive communication. And the group believes it's kind of been a lost art in today's fast-paced, sound bite-driven world. And they believe that reviving this tradition offers students the chance to develop critical thinking skills, articulate arguments, and engage in respectful dialogue. And these skills are increasingly rare but profoundly valuable. And by restoring the art of debate, we empower individuals to explore diverse perspectives, defend their ideas with evidence, and navigate complex issues with clarity and confidence. And they would like to thank you for considering this proposal.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the revival.
And
debate
right.
club.
Perfect timing.
There she is. I knew she'd be back.
A lead entries.
Yes, but if they have questions, you're a great person to.
I would second that.
All right.
Questions? Yes.
Yeah, other local schools that are already neck deep in debate clubs that you would have interaction with?
There are several schools in our area. There's also the Maine Forensics League, which is actually the formal competition. Before COVID, I had started the debate team, and 2020 was supposed to be the year that we went into competition. I'm sorry, but online just killed debate. It was not, the kids hung in there for the year, but it petered out. Now, I have a great group in my AP seminar class this year. We have done many debates in that classroom, and they want this very much. So we will start in-house for the spring to start working on the nuances of what debate looks like, and then reach out to other schools and see. But it will be some fundraising that we'll need to do. The kids are very aware of this. So, but it's a lost art and a lost skill, especially in today's world.
Absolutely.
So, and I wish you could see a snapshot of my classroom. It's very eclectic, especially at lunch. Kids on all sides of the fences, having a civil conversation, debating topics, but doing so with facts, doing so with dignity and grace, doing so with an understanding that you may agree this way, I think this way, we're going to agree to disagree and respect each other's opinion. They would give you hope. So, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in complete support. However, I just asked the question about transportation. Have you been in touch with Jeff? Our transportation department is already stretched beyond
So
capacity.
that's why we're competing in-house this spring.
I'm worried about next year.
And next year, so the students are very aware of the transportation and the monetary issues that we face. That, funding, again, we know that will be a tight budget year. I'm willing to do this. I've done many things over the course of my 23 years for this district. This is something that I'm passionate about.
It's just understanding that our transportation department may not have the capacity to provide.
They are
the
willing,
service.
and I believe some of the parents will be willing, and we'll get permission for transportation. I see that, yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I can fit 7.
Does this fall into the first 2 years?
Club versus.
I'm just asking for clarity because it's
a club first, it could become
reviving something.
Right.
Did we have it before?
You did have it before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was.
It was still in club status. We hadn't gone to team status. Team status was gonna be 2020. And so
So you're
that's
kind
why
of starting over.
you want to start over.
Yeah.
That's really a decision of the board.
But I do, if I can add, I do have to agree, if we build it to club status, at some point down the road, we'll retire and we have to look at who's gonna be stepping in to do this. So, and think about that logistically.
Is there a way that, because you didn't choose to, disband this, COVID did that. Is there a way to sort of assess prior credit so that they could get funded sooner than?
That's the board's decision. If the board wanted to do that, and you would just have to keep that in mind when you build the budget.
Good timing though, Michelle, good thought, right?
And would they want that, or do they want time to rebuild?
Oh, they want to go for it, so.
They're ready now to debate.
Just want to be involved.
I think
Aren't we all?
sharing should play the role.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm willing because knowing, the budget climate,
Yes.
but looking at the future, there should be some thought built into that, so.
Do you think, I was gonna say, do you think you and Andrea could tell us what it was before? If there was nothing in the budget yet? 'Cause
There
we
was
didn't make
nothing in the
it.
budget yet because they did not make it to team
So maybe an
status.
estimate, if you think, I don't know, just thinking.
I would say probably not more than, you're talking about transportation, probably at $3,000.
That's what I was thinking, 2,500, but I wanted to hear
It
you
would be
say.
more than that because you would have to make a stipend available.
That's what I was also wondering.
That's-
Okay, so 5,000 maybe or something. And fees, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay, sorry.
So we need deeper
We're thinking, we're
details.
thinking.
We need deeper.
Joanne's got her.
I was gonna say, now do you follow whatever the national topic is?
We did, pre-COVID, we were looking at national topics. That will be something that the students will discuss once, if this is approved, how they would like to go forward. In AP seminar, we talk about many world topics, and national topics that are out there. And
All the topics, Joanne, I'll tell you.
that's,
I hear it at home too.
and I'll apologize on public note to parents when I make them better at arguments. I've had to make that apology before, so.
Yes. Yep.
So. Yes.
I don't know if this needs to be a motion or just a statement or whatever, but the groundwork's already been laid. The kids are motivated, the advisor is motivated, coach, whatever. I would say from now to the end of the school year, they're gonna get all their ducks in a row and everything, and we're in the middle of the budget process. We should call it the 6 months will be the end of the club status and try to fund it for next year.
There's a motion on the floor and a second. So Alyssa, you made that motion.
Yep.
You would need to modify to maybe add his recommendation
budget.
or not.
Yep.
And if you accept that, then Tony needs to also accept.
The chain of command, yes, but Kira's got her hand up too.
Oh, I just want to say I was in Mrs. Soto's AP seminar class and I'm in her AP research class and she really does a good job of teaching us how to debate and think reasonably.
I love that. Excellent.
I'll amend my motion to include what Michelle started and Matt finished about consideration for the budget. If Tony would
I
so.
will second that.
All right,
As well.
Love it.
excellent.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Yes, Jeff.
So your motion for $3,000 has been removed?
There was never a motion for a specific dollar amount.
Okay,
It
that's-
was just to provide funding for the program for next school year.
But we don't know what that number is.
We don't know the exact amount. It would not be more than 5,000, we don't think.
3-ish for transportation and then the stipend, which would
Correct.
be.
Well, there's the stipend, there's the entry fee, plus any transportation costs.
I could put together figures for you.
And just to clarify, so so we're trying to give credit, Jeff, we're trying to give credit for the time that they already tried to do the club, but the pandemic sort of, wiped out their credit. And you're very well aware, and the students are well aware that there's gonna have to be extensive fundraising. So they're gonna have ownership into the program, into what they desire to do, and that's really gonna make them drive it a little bit further than just us funding. So I really like that idea.
Good idea. So we have a motion.
Kids are interested. They've even popped into my office. Is it approved yet?
I'm one of the interested seniors.
Yeah.
You are.
I have an interested sophomore, yep.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second and a couple of interested kids. All those in favor? Excellent. Motion carries. So you can't retire yet.
No.
No. Thank you. That's exciting. Okay, ski team. Your turn. Nice to see you, Nate.
Likewise, Becky. Can we do a C first? Sure. It has an impact on B.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm here to request that our ski team form an individual co-op with Maranacook. About 4 years ago, we had an individual co-op with Maranacook. Then our numbers grew. Maranacook requested that we go on our own. We did. Our numbers had dropped back down. So we roughly have about 6 skiers, 6 alpine skiers. So it would benefit us in many ways to form another individual co-op with them. So I'm here to request that initially before my next request.
So moved.
Second. Is it you, Molly? Questions?
Have we already budgeted for a team this year?
No, they're still club status.
All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? We're good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, my next request is since we've been club status for 3 years for skiing, I'm requesting that the ski team be funded for next year moving forward.
Cost?
The cost, roughly. So skiing is a little different because it's based on how many individuals you have in the program, because each skier has to pay training fees per skier, lift ticket per skier, entry fees and races per skier. So right now we have 6. So the best numbers I can come up with is what we have. So this year roughly would cost $200 per athlete to train. We train at Kents Hill. They have a ski slope there. So to train with Maranacook, it would be $200 per skier, so $1,200 there. The race fees come to a total of $2,216. Again, that's based on 6 skiers. And then we have, there was another additional $1,800 for, no, maybe that was already calculated. So $1,800, so $4,016 is what the grand total will be for this year to have our ski team participate in the individual co-op with Maranacook. Now, there is a request this year from our coach to the boosters to help fund that. But moving forward, the request would be for the district to fund that as well.
That's an annual estimate, Nate.
Again, it's based on 6 skiers that may
So,
go
yeah.
up, it may go down.
As the boosters has lots of money. Yeah, right. But so if they pay this year, another consideration for next year is what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, you know, I just want to bring this up to see how you feel about this. I mean, if our numbers were to grow and again, and Maranacook were to say to us that you're big enough to have your own team, then we would have to consider having a coach stipend as well. So that's something to consider, but that will be on a yearly basis. As you know, then we get to the budget process and you either approve the budget or you don't approve the budget.
Right.
So there is the possibility of having to add a coach in the future.
Is it co-ed?
Yes. Yeah.
And how many skiers does Maranacook have?
A lot.
I figured.
Yeah.
So our 6 is just
Yeah.
the tail end of
Yeah,
something
it's-
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the age range in our current 6 skiers? Are they upperclassmen, lower?
I think we have, I don't want to quote, but I think we have 1 or 2 seniors and the rest are juniors. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what the numbers coming up would be.
We don't currently have any freshmen or sophomore. That
I can't
right.
quote you on that. 'cause
Hold
I
you
don't
to
know
it, but it sounds like it's mostly upperclassmen.
It is, mostly juniors, yeah.
Okay. Yes, Jeff.
What's the total again?
Well, it's about $4,000. Yeah, a little over 4,000
6 kids.
for 6 kids.
Over 6 kids.
And does that include transportation?
No, it does not include transportation. Good question. We would, right now, they get transported by their parents to the ski mountains. And the way it works, it's a long day to keep drivers away from the district. So I would request that they continue to do what they're doing as far as transportation is concerned and have parents drive.
66%.
I may have just missed something and I do apologize if that's the case.
Yeah.
You stated something about $200 for training per student, but
Yes.
you're kind of quoting almost close to 1,000 per student for the total. Can you break that down a little bit further of like what else is per student?
So it's $200 per athlete to train at Kents Hill. So it's broken down to $100 high school alpine participation fee,
Okay.
$50 skier training fee at Kents Hill, and a $50 season pass at Kents Hill.
Okay.
So that accounts for the $200 per athlete to train, essentially practice
Okay.
at Kents Hill.
Okay.
And then the race fee is on top of that. So every time there's a race fee. So for instance, they range from $25 to $30 per kid per race.
Okay,
And
thank
then-
you. I
Then
appreciate
there's
that.
the state fees
Yeah.
on top of that, where there's a fee for attending a state race.
Are the students willing to fundraise at all or?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
they can certainly
perfect.
do fundraising, yep.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question. Does the ski team bring any money in? I mean, like.
No, there's no revenue generated from skiing. No, we only have a few sports in our district that generate revenue.
There's snowmaking?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually drove by the other day, they were making snow. It's probably gone now.
If they don't have a ski team, they don't have snow.
They currently pay these fees themselves?
I'm sorry?
Do they currently pay these fees themselves?
Yes.
In order to be
Yes.
part of the ski team?
Yes, and that's why they're requesting the boosters' help. They're going to the boosters meeting on Monday with that request.
Yes, Joanne.
Do they have their own equipment?
Yes, they do.
So it really is kind of a sport for people of means that have access to equipment. There's no.
You could call
rentals.
it a student of means, or you could call it kids whose families grew up skiing. And that's, if that's.
Hockey's just
your-
as expensive.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And if that's what your family grew up doing in the winter.
I'm not sure we should classify a sport by means or no means.
No.
Because, I mean, some parents sacrifice a lot. They used ski clubs, things like that. So I'm not sure that we should be dividing socioeconomically our students like that.
No, my point was just that you may have a student that would love to be on a ski team that just doesn't have access to the means to buy their equipment.
Right.
And that would be my only concern is that those students wouldn't have the opportunity like other students who grew up in families that,
Ski.
you're borrowing skis from cousin so-and-so because everybody in the family skis.
Right.
Right.
And I'm pretty confident that if that were to happen, the ski community and being a co-op and digital co-op with Maranacook and the numbers that they have, they would be found equipment very quickly.
That's good.
I remember Lee sort of rustling
Oh,
around
yeah.
trying to find
Oh, yeah.
equipment for
Yeah.
kids. that
There's
wanted to
always
ski.
swaps and trades and everything.
Right, the
going on
ski
with
swaps, yeah.
skiing,
In that same vein, if there are students who do want to participate and should they not have access to equipment, would this program provide access to rental equipment at the ski slope? Or,
That's a good question. Possibly.
okay, I grew up skiing on rental equipment, so I know it's available,
Yeah.
so.
One other thing that we might throw in there is a small line for equipment, since you brought it up. Because they have to wear certain suits,
Yep.
the
Yeah,
swimming
that
suits
makes
and so on and so forth, so we can.
Fancy suits and helmets.
So there could be an equipment line for sure.
So we have a motion and a second.
No, we
and-
do not.
No, we need a motion.
I move that we,
Thank you.
yes, thank you.
Sorry, I thought we had a motion.
No, I know we were talking. I'll second it.
And Alyssa
Okay.
seconds.
Yep. The
any-
consideration to approve, then we're back to our language.
Right,
Yeah,
back
it's
to
like
where we started.
during the budget process, we'll see where it fits in, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Makes sense.
any further questions? All those in favor?
Opposed?
No, abstain.
Okay. Next, all right,
Okay.
anything?
My
else?
last request.
There it
Yes.
comes.
There it comes.
Is to fund unified sports. Moving forward. So we currently have unified volleyball, unified basketball, and unified bocce. So.
Unified bocce?
Unified bocce. Yes. Yeah. Basketball being the most popular, volleyball, there are only 4 other schools in the state that provide unified volleyball. So we are number 5. So we're getting ahead of the curve, which is great. So the estimated amount, and right now we're working on funds from Special Olympics of Maine. They've given us grants for the last 2 years. So we still have some of that money left. So there really isn't a lot to purchase as far as equipment is concerned for unified sports. Because we already have it through our regular sports that purchase all the equipment, volleyball nets, volleyballs, basketballs, et cetera, et cetera. So the breakdown would be essentially stipends and transportation. There'd be a little bit for officials for basketball. We had our volleyball team officiate our volleyball matches this year, but we would hire a certified basketball official to officiate our basketball games. So the breakdown, essentially stipend would be about $2,100 to $2,200 for all 3 sports, and transportation would be about $2,200 to $2,300 for all 3 sports as well. So a total of about $4,400 to $4,500 per year, plus officials, which would be relatively minimal, probably $400 or $500.
Round it up to 5,000.
Yes, Jeff?
You're asking for consideration for funding?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Ken, what's the difference between unified sports and?
Unified is sponsored by Special Olympics of Maine.
Is it for kids that are?
Yes.
Disabled, I mean, challenged, I guess. Is the word.
Yep, so it's a partnership with athletes and partners. So we have, it's a combination, and if you've been to a unified basketball game, it's quite a sight to see. It's amazing. We packed the gym. Actually, our last home, we had a 6-game schedule last year. We've increased it to an 8-game schedule this year. So 4 home, 4 away. And our last game is going to be at 1 o'clock during the school day. So the entire student body can come this year.
That is so cool.
So
That is so
that'll be our
cool.
senior night or our senior day. So we'll recognize all of our senior athletes, and it should be quite an event.
Thanks.
That is so great.
You guys playing Oak Hill this year?
We are playing Oak Hill this year.
You'll make that game then?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I actually, can I do the motion to approve funding for the unified sports team? Second it.
Perfect. Motion and a second. Any further comments, cheers, yahoos? All those in favor? Excellent. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nate. That's awesome, Nate. Thanks so much.
So the big ski team unified.
She's taking notes, she'll say.
Yeah.
This is very cute.
Not hearing cha-ching yet.
15,000 right there.
Right there. Okay.
Cross country team at the high school level with me.
There is, but we don't have it.
All righty. Old business, none. My report, one thing I want to, the first thing I want to talk about is that in February, on February 13th, we spoke with one of our attorneys today. He will come and do our board orientation. It's really necessary for new board members, existing, all board members should come to this. We're having a hard time. I would like to say publicly that the board's really having a hard time, and we've never been a board that didn't get along. And according to the law, we need to get along, and it's right here in this book. If anyone would like to read it, it's not a joke. We really need to find a way to leave our politics at the door and bring our love for students, which is why we're here. And it's not about outside groups coming in, and I understand we have them. But our job is not outside groups, and it's not our politics, and it's not our beliefs that we grew up with that haunt us. We all have them. Our work here is for students, and we have so many wonderful things happening in this district that are not about all those outside things. And we have begun to be very distracted by that through outside emails, through X, through podcasts. And our work as board members, we are only board members when we are in this room. That's it. You have that title, but you have no authority anywhere else. You're just Becky Fless, Jeff Hanley, Michelle Tucker. Outside this room, you are just a tax-paying citizen. And we need to hear that, learn that, and do better. So, having said all that, on the 13th of February, we will be here at 5 o'clock. 5:30. You can be here at 5 o'clock. That means you're on time. And we're gonna figure it out. That will be in an executive session. We will open with public comment because that's the law. But when it comes to our work, we will be in executive session. And we're gonna make this work. And I appreciate all the community support that we've had. And I expect that we're gonna get to where we need to be.
Madam Chair, is that an hour or do you have an estimate?
We're gonna stay till it's done,
Okay.
but it might take 2 hours. I'm
Right,
not willing
okay.
to skimp on this. We have work to do. And our kids are watching us. And that's who we're here to serve, so.
So we might want to consider food.
We may.
That's where my.
We should.
Yeah.
We should consider food.
It's better to share a meal and.
Absolutely. I'm not opposed to it. So we can talk about that.
Yes. I
Say a
will.
time for that.
5:30.
I will not be here.
Will not be here.
Angela.
Angela will be here.
So we will discuss food.
Angela likes food.
I'll make sure you have.
Yes.
Priorities.
And if you need, I'm happy to participate in any way, because I know that you have your other job too.
We have some support upstairs as well.
Yes, yes.
We'll
So
make it work out.
we'll make it
It's
work.
fine.
So
Yeah.
expectation is everyone will be there. Okay, moving on. Superintendent's
All
report.
right, I just have two things really quickly. Wanted to let the board know that I will be out of the district on January 16th and 17th. I'll be in Portland. It is the annual superintendent's winter convocation. We always have a national speaker who comes. We meet with legislators and just do various types of professional development and ongoing work. So I will be in Portland those 2 days. And then I just wanted to bring to your attention some work that we're doing behind the scenes. I think one of the administrators mentioned that we do have an elementary school and staff behavior committee, really looking at some of the behaviors that are challenging to our staff right now. And I wrote a letter that was signed and contributed to by members of that particular committee to our local legislators, requesting a change to the restraint policy, the restraint law, that would give us a little more flexibility to help escort students who are needing some de-escalation. And to be able to de-escalate in private versus de-escalating in public, in front of peers. And so that's gaining some traction. I've heard from some representatives. I have a meeting next week with someone from the MEA and some legislators. And we are going to have at least 2, potentially more legislators who will be joining our committee meeting next week. So doing that legislative work behind the scenes. So really pleased that it is gaining some attraction and some interest. So we'll see if it comes to any fruition and any change. So
Senator Hickman sent a letter to us. And he asked if we needed any assistance with anything. And I also spent an evening with Dan Shigori just before Christmas, and he would love to be part of whatever it is that we need. So I would,
those are the legislators that I'm speaking with,
Perfect.
as well as others on the Ed committee.
great,
So-
perfect. Thank you.
for doing
That's-
that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to make sure we catch all the, net all the support and get it in.
We get copies in the letter.
Sure.
And then we, if any of us know some legislators personally, we can write to them and support them.
Absolutely.
Sure. I will
That would be really
send that
helpful.
right out.
Thank you.
And that's all that I know.
Wow, you guys.
All right, look at this. What time is it?
Well, you have 4
I
executive
understand,
sessions.
I understand, but look at the time. It's only 7:45. Only. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's really lovely to see you. Thanks for supporting our kids. Karen, in our kitchen, before we remodeled, we had the water pipe that the ice for the refrigerator had been broken and we had no idea that it was broken. Walked across the floor and water started squirting up on my feet. It was the worst day. But I got a new kitchen floor.
Bye, have a good night.
Yeah.
See you. Big space.
Yeah. Oh, it's just awful when that happens.
It's got good to squish up.
Yeah. And they were having the holiday fair. It was wet and went outside. Oh, sticky. And they were moving it with like squeaky wheels. And it was just like squeaking goo.
We need to have Terry
A little
here for all these.
Very gooey.
Hearing needs to
And
be
Peter was there
done
just
because we
staring
do
at
need to come out
What
in
the
the back end.
heck?
So will,
This is
you
not
will
how this
need
goes.
to make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion, we move into executive session.
Second. All those in favor, Fran, thank you. How's Tracy? Tracy.
Sorry, we're in the.
I'll text you, sorry.
Please do.
I will, yeah.
I'd rather be home.
You need to keep the door open.
That's fine. Yeah, back online. Yeah.
Motion to enter executive session to discuss contract negotiations with the Administrators Association.
Second.
All those in favor,
Thank you.
come to us. Guru of money.
Okay. Terry needs to leave.
Motion to go into executive session to.
Second?
Thank you.
Contract negotiations for bus drivers.
All those second by Tony, all those in favor?
Okay, that was Tony or Jeff? Tony?
I thought
That was
Jeff made
I
that.
thought.
Oh, sorry.
Jeff made the second, you made the motion.
Perfect.
Okay, good. That's what I heard. Okay, great. So we'll just wait for Terry. Committee members. That way she can go, home. Oh, wait a minute, let me get in. What time is this? 8:57.
Oh, thank you. We need a motion to go into
Move
executive
we go
session.
into Executive session.
Second.
Tony, all those in favor? Excellent. I need to make clear that there will be no action coming out of this executive session. So we will stop the live stream. We are just going to use this executive session and call it a night. So no action from this particular time.